Well, welcome into a very exciting episode of The Scene. I'm your host, Bubba Startz, and with me today is McKenna Faith Winters. McKenna, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Just getting to know each other off camera a little bit here. And I said, you know what? Let's just do it live. So why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into all the fun stuff that you're up to.
So my name is McKenna Faith Winters. I'm a 17-year-old country recording artist. I've been recording in Nashville for the last couple of years. I've got 13 songs out right now. My last one came out about a week and a half ago or so. And it's really been growing from there. I've got tons of shows going on and more songs coming out and more being recorded. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I wish I was that far along in my music career at 17, but I was still learning how to play.
Yeah, well, I can't even play the guitar. I can a little bit. We're getting there, but I don't musically wise. I never really grew up like my family. They never did anything musically, so it's a learning process.
So mostly singer, songwriter then? You're writing your own songs?
Yes, I am starting to write my own songs. Yeah.
Awesome. So how did you kind of get into the music business then? You're still a very young lady, so
Yeah. So I've always loved music, singing in the car as a little girl. And then COVID hit, and my parents knew I loved singing. And my dad was like, hey, let's just start posting videos. So we kind of made a little fancy room in my house for music and stuff. And I started posting videos during COVID, and it really has been growing from there.
how fun. Way to take advantage of
Yeah. Mhm.
that time at home. And I'm sure you
Yeah.
were probably out of school and mom and
Yes.
dad are going crazy, going, she won't stop singing all over the house.
Yeah.
We got to make something out of this. So how cool. And now look at you. You're recording in Nashville and all kinds of fun stuff. So where are you from, McKenna, without obviously being too specific?
I'm from the Rockford area of Illinois. It's northern Illinois. So yeah,
Okay.
almost to Wisconsin, but yeah.
Okay. Hey, I know the area well. So my family grew up in the south suburbs of Chicago, Romeoville. So we
Mhm.
would go through Rockford, driving through, and I passed through there. Oh, not too long ago on tour myself. So
Yeah.
know the area well. Love that. Are you having a lot of success, obviously, finding gigs out there? Talk
Yeah.
about some of the struggles you face as someone who doesn't play, doesn't play an instrument necessarily yourself. Are you always touring with, say, a guitar player or something?
Yeah, I am. It took a while, but I've found people that have become my family and stuff. They've really helped me out as a young artist. Another struggle I've had is I feel like a lot of places are like, oh my God, she's only 17. Like she's probably not, like they've never seen me before, you know? So it's sometimes hard to book gigs and stuff and shows. But I think I'm starting to prove myself around here. So yeah.
That doesn't stop with
Yeah.
age.
Mhm.
People will always kind of doubt you until you build up that resume, till you can go, well, this is all the stuff that I've already done. So
Right.
um, uh, get used to that for a few more years, but you are
Mhm.
rising rapidly. So you have guitar player, you say you have a band, you have all these band shows coming out. Are you like the musical director of the band as well, or is one of these people that have now become family to you, do they kind of assume that role?
I think they mostly assume the role. I mean, my dad's also kind of my manager too. He does a lot of the booking gigs and finding places to play. He also does a lot of my social media sometimes too to help me out because I'm still in school and all that. So yeah,
Well, a huge shout out to dad for helping his little girl
yeah,
in the music industry. I think most fathers that have a daughter that want to go into music are probably just trying to talk them out of it completely.
right. No, he's always grown up loving music too, so I think it's a lot that he loves too.
Do you feel like you're kind of, or that he rather is kind of living vicariously through your situation?
I think so. Yeah, he loves doing it. He loves doing the traveling and talking to people, and he loves the music part of it too.
That's awesome. So my dad used to be in my band, but it was less of like supporting my son as it was much more like my dad still wanted to party and be a rock star.
Yeah.
So I'm very very proud of your dad for doing that. It's not easy always, especially if you wanted to maybe have that dream but never got the chance to kind of step aside and to put anyone else up,
Right.
especially a daughter or a son in my case. But commendable. So shout out to you, Dad. You're probably in the background list.
Yeah, yeah.
He just photobombed us in the mirror. I'm gonna let him know that. So that's awesome. So you got new songs coming out. You just released the new one a week and a half ago, you said. What, I mean, you say country, but country's such a broad term these days.
Yeah.
What kind of, I don't know necessarily subgenre, but describe your music for me a little bit.
It's very pop country, I would say. Yeah. I've always grown up loving country music and pop and the same, so it's kind of a great mixture for me. I've also a lot of people say that I have a good pop voice and country voice, so it kind of just works out. But that's mostly my music. I've got a couple of them are more poppy than country, but it's still a great vibe to have. So
Yeah, it's really hard to put a thumb on any musical
yeah.
genre these days anyway. Give us a couple of comps just for our listeners that haven't heard you yet. What would be some comparable artists out there for you?
I'd say Kelsey Ballerini, Avery Anna. Um, those are my two main that I've always listened to and grown up. Avery Anna, she's amazing. I've seen her in concert a few times now. But she's a person that I want to be like and grow up to someday. So
You have started writing your own music now. Talk about some of the the exciting points of your budding songwriting career now on top of singing.
yeah, it's really a learning process. I'm still young, so learning how to put things together. And I also, my producer's in Nashville, so he's been helping me out a lot with that too, and just teaching me the ways. I write with a lot of people in Nashville. Mostly been co-writing for right now, but it's great to, they help me learn a lot. So,
Right, and that's exactly what it is a place to learn until you can stand on your own and feel like you're very competent. And I think not having an instrument that you're relying on to help you to kind of coordinate melodies and different things like
right.
that, it probably makes it a little tougher as well.
Mhm.
For me, I started writing poetry maybe at 12, 13 years old, and then got a guitar at 13, 14, and it was like,
Yeah.
oh, these things are perfectly aligned with each other, and it just kind of came naturally to me. But I
Mhm.
understand that it's not always the case. Some people come to this with different talents. So fantastic. How do you like working in Nashville?
It's great. I love the place. We want to move there soon. So after I graduate, that's our plan. It's an amazing place. It's the people down there are just so much different. It's easy to like become friends with people. It's amazing.
Yes, and the only thing that could kind of give anyone pause is that one, it's getting more and more expensive to live in
Yeah,
Nashville, and two, that you don't really make a ton of money playing gigs down
right.
there. So I have
Hmm.
some good friends of mine that live in the Minneapolis area, and he's signed to a development deal or some kind of distribution deal. So he works in Nashville quite a bit, but they spend a lot of time, either driving down there or flying down to spend, 3, 4 days, and then coming home and finding that as like the trade-off, because most of his gigs are in that Minneapolis area. You've spent
Right.
20 years or 10 years building up this repertoire of gigs. It's really hard to uproot that and move away. Might
Yeah.
be different for someone who maybe doesn't have all the experience, but talk about your scene in that Rockford area. Are there a lot of gigs for someone like you around in that Illinois, Wisconsin border? I mean, obviously a lot of small town pubs and things
Yeah.
like that around, but is there places for you to go out and play and maybe make a little bit more than tips?
Yeah. Our Rockford area, like Illinois, we have a lot of musical talent here. It's been it's been easy to get to know people and get to booking here. But I would I get paid pretty good for that. It's not as much as people probably in other places, but it's more than tips and stuff. So I actually do get paid from a lot of the bars or festivals that I'm going to be playing in this summer. But yeah.
So the new album, did you print CDs for it and everything, or
It's not an album. I'm releasing singles right now, but
okay?
I have CDs for my first 6 songs that I have out, but the rest we haven't done anything with yet. But I plan my own as like my focus right now. It's getting a lot of streams actually. I've gained about 5,000 Spotify listeners in the last week and a half or so.
Holy
So
cow!
yeah, it's growing a lot.
Can you teach me? That's my music career to some extent has taken a back seat this last just over a year we've been doing the podcast because I find so much more value in my day to day having these kind of conversations and putting that out there as my content, right? Than just kind of putting my songs out there, and I feel it's a little less demoralizing when nobody's listening to the podcast for whatever
Yeah.
reason. But we're hitting our stride here too. We just passed 150,000 views on
That's
YouTube
great.
after
Yeah.
being at, yeah, I mean, we were at a few thousand at the beginning of April and then things just started to move straight up. So I'm sure you're kind of feeling that rush too, where it's like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
Yeah.
5,000 new people in a week
Yeah.
listening to your
That's
music. That's
mhm.
incredible. Did you
Yeah.
get any kind of playlist placement, or is this just kind of an organic thing where
It
the
has,
song is resonating?
yeah, I have gotten some playlists it's been added to. Sometimes it's random, but there has been a few.
I'm so out of it. I started to dip into it when I was releasing a couple singles in 23 and 24, and it was just like, man, I'm not into it because I'm 39. I just turned 39, McKenna. So I'm much further along in my career than you are. And getting attention for a song that I wrote 20 years ago, right, when I was a completely different human being, it just didn't really ring for me. But thankfully for me, and extremely grateful to have found podcasting and to have an idea like the Scene Projects that is about building a community. It's not
Yeah.
about me getting famous, talking and being Joe Rogan. It's about me supporting young artists like McKenna Faith Winters and having them on at the beginning of their careers to, educate a little bit, but also share your art with the world. We do
Yeah.
songwriter showcases. We have, now a mixtape playlist that we're building as well to just get our artists out there. We won an
Yeah.
award recently for Content Creator of the Year from the Midwest Country Music
Wow.
Organization. Which if you're not a member, I would highly suggest that, and I'll get you some info when we get off here. But it's about community, and it sounds like you got some great people around you that have been really supportive of that, starting obviously with dad being behind you every step of the way here. What's your goal for the next year? I'm assuming that you're graduating next year, or
Yeah.
do you? Okay,
I
so
will graduate.
you'll be a senior. And so what's kind of the goals for the next 12 months to, obviously you can't, go on full-fledged tours and leave just yet, but what does the next 12 months look like for you, McKenna?
Kind of like you said, like building a community, building people that follow you along and are just your fans and are there for you. That's a big part of being a small artist is the people that are there have been your number one fans since the start. Um, Also, I mean, booking more gigs as much as possible. It's a big thing to do. Playing live, playing original music for people, which I have a festival that's just for that I'll be playing in July, end of July, or I think beginning of August. I'm not exactly sure the date. But building community is the biggest part that you can do for a young artist, helping me grow. And yeah, I did forget to mention this. I got nominated for, I think, 3 Josie Awards down in Nashville for the independent artist. It's hosted at the Grand Ole Opry this year. So I will be going to that in November.
That's fantastic. I got quite a few friends. I'll send you a list of people you need to go introduce yourself to while you're down
Okay,
there.
cool.
Most of them Midwest Country Music Organization members as
Yes.
well. That is a big part of our world was finding that community and then building our own community. We started the Midwest Original Music Organization for the simple fact that most of my world is not in the country world. I was kind of a rock artist, but I have a lot of friends that are in hip hop and other genres. And I wanted to kind of open a community to all musicians and all kinds of songwriters. So, yeah, we'd love to have you as part of that community as well and to just continue to watch you grow.
Yeah, thank you. And I am a part of that actually.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah,
You know what? I do so many of these interviews now. I've lost track. Last year, everyone I interviewed was MCMO,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And now it's become like, oh wow, these tentacles have gone off. I don't even know. I don't know any of these names on the interview list anymore, and it's a beautiful thing. So I will
yeah.
be watching for your name and our breakout artist for our award show next year. And you have already gotten my vote, McKenna. So kudos to you. Keep it up. Go ahead and plug all your stuff for me before I let you get out of here.
Yeah, so you guys can find me on McKenna Faith Winters Music, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Those are my three main. TikTok's my biggest one right now. But yeah, McKenna Faith Winters Music.
Well, McKenna, thank you so much for joining the show today, and thanks for being part of the scene.
Yeah, thank you for having me.